Okay, so in today's video about ICP, at first we are going to do a short-term analysis and see what is going on in this area, and then I'm going to show you a very important chart suggesting the start of the next phase of the bull run in ICP might be a bit closer than you think. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones. And if you remember the last time that we talked about internet computer, I believe we were somewhere around these areas, and I was saying, look, this can be ABC down into wave W, correction for wave X, and then we may get another move on the downside into our wave Y. And the reason for that came down, if you remember, to this move on the upside, because in it we just constantly had overlapping of the waves. So what happened? As you can see, we did get a move down, but the question is, can we argue that this point might be potentially our final bottom? The answer is probably yes. Here is how. I can still say this is an A, B, C zigzag structure down, and followed by that, I think the end of our wave X is going to be in here, and yep, we are probably having, according to this scenario at least, an A, B, C, D, E, a triangle structure like this, and then this can be potentially another A, B, C zigzag. Now, is the scenario 100% going to happen? No. There is no certainty in any market. There are only probabilities. That's why I also need to show you some other scenarios suggesting that we may see another move on the downside. But even in that case, I do not believe there's anything to be worried about, at least based on the current evidence. I can tell you this whole move down is a correction structure, and after it's over, we are going to have another move on the upside. Now let's talk about the other possibility. And according to that scenario, this isn't going to be a WXY anymore. Instead, it might be in form of an ABC zigzag. Excuse me. Okay, so you can say from this point to about here, this is 5 wave down into A, and then from here to around this high, we can have a correction for wave B, and we may see soon another move down into our C leg. And in an ABC zigzag, what are the subwaves going to look like? You probably know it if you are a regular viewer. 5 wave down into our A leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correction for wave B. Maybe ABC, maybe WXY, maybe even a triangle. Doesn't matter a whole lot. And then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into our C leg. Something like this. Okay. Understood? Excellent. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. And I can tell you maybe, and again, maybe this is from here, wave 1, correction for 2, another move down into wave 3, correction for 4, and we can technically have another move on the downside into wave 5. What just happened? My mouse is just really glitchy today. I'm sorry about that one. Okay, something like this. Now, what's the target for this potential pattern going to be? You need to use Fibonacci's. Let's just see where we are in terms of Fibonacci retracement. There we go. As you can see, in this pullback, we went to somewhere around, let's say like the 78 to 61.8% of the Fibonacci retracement level. Now, if you want to argue that in this phase, we went to somewhere around the 61.8% level, then okay, for this move down, you can have the 1.618 as a likely target, which will give you about, let's say like a $6.1 ICP. On the other hand, if you want to say we went to about the 78% level, that means for this move down that we are currently having, you need to have your eyes on the 1.27 level, which will give you about a $6.4 ICP. So let's just mark the area between these two levels and say, if we're going to have another move down, this can be a very likely target for us. So in conclusion, either we are going to have a move up from the current point, maybe like a 20 to potentially even 30% move on the upside, or maybe we're going to have another move down in order to reach to about here, and then we are going to get our bounce back one way or the other. I still fully stand by what I said. I do think that we are going to get this move up in internet computer. And this, my friends, is the extent of short-term analysis that we are going to do. Now let's go on ICP dominance chart and see what is going on in that area, because I think we are potentially seeing some optimistic signs. Let's go on daily time frame, zoom out a bit more. So is this chart on logarithmic? Yes, it is. Okay. Here's the deal. I think we are having an ABC zigzag structure starting from the highest side, let's say in here about 1.5% to all the way down here around the recent lowest low about 0.1%. Now, in an ABC zigzag, I told you we are going to have 5 waves down into our A legs. So let's count some waves. Okay, I'm thinking this might be from this point, a wave 1, correction for 2, another move down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the downside, potentially, yep, to about this point into our wave 5, and this can be, I think so, yep, a truncated wave 5. Now, followed by that, I believe from here to about this high, we are having a correction up, and since this last leg on the upside is actually like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it makes perfect sense to say this is probably an A, B, C in form of a flat structure. Now, here's a very important point. If we can find a 5 wave down starting from this side to somewhere around the recent price action, we can argue that our move down in ICP is probably over. And now let's zoom in more and see what is happening. And here is some good news for you. I can tell you, look, from this side, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down into a wave 1, correction for wave 2, another very clear cut 5 wave down into wave 3 to about here and not here. Why is that? I'm going to tell you in a bit. This is a correction for 4, another move down into wave 5. Now, if I just zoom in more, okay, what do we see in this phase on the upside? This is a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry about that one. Okay, something like this. So that's why I'm going to say this move up only by itself cannot be a correction structure. Most likely, our correction in this chart started from this point, and it can be, you probably know it if you are a regular viewer, an A, B, C in form of, you know it, a running flat structure, and from this high to about the recent price action. I'm thinking we may have like 5 down into 1, correction for wave 2, another move down into wave 3, correction for 4, and we may see another move on the downside into wave 5. And at that point, this orange wave 5, let's actually change the colors for it. Okay, so we can say this white 5 wave down is going to be into a larger degree wave 5, and on a higher degree, what are we going to have? We're going to have all the sub waves for an A, B, C zigzag structure, and it means we can at that point count on a very solid bounce back. Now, what I'm about to tell you is based on my personal experience in different markets. Whenever you are having an A, B, C zigzag, something like this, and your move down is over, in the bounce back phase, you are usually going to see a very strong move up in order to take the height of your B leg, and then you are probably going to start some sort of consolidation in this phase, and followed by that another move up. The point is this: when this ABC is over, you are going to see, I would say, quite a decently strong bounce back. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. So I told you earlier, I believe this move down in ICP dominance is going to be over soon, and we're going to get a move up, and in that move we are going to at least take the height of our B leg, which is going to be about, let's say, 0.4%. Now, if we're going to do something like this, what's the target going to be for ICP? Basically, from here, you are going to see probably like a 300% move on the upside, which will give you about, let's say, like a $20 to $25 ICP. Now, the question is this going to happen tomorrow? Absolutely not. Is it going to happen next week? I don't think so, but that is not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I want to make is this move down in internet computer is probably over soon, and we are seeing a lot of evidence suggesting that. And I think after this move is over, we are going to see a very strong move on the upside that could potentially take a couple of weeks. And I'm trying to tell you, look, we can go down in ICP. Again, there is no certainty in any market. There are only probabilities, but based on probabilities, in my opinion, and again, this is only and only my opinion, in ICP, either we have hit our final bottom or we are extremely close to reach to our final bottom. So right around here, number one for me is definitely not the time to sell. And two, it's actually a fantastic buying opportunity. That's why I've been telling you in the previous videos, look, in ICP, I am a big buyer around the current area because my average purchase before this move down was actually somewhere around the $9 region. But now, since I have bought in this move on the downside quite a bit of ICP, I managed to get my average purchase down to about $7.37.2. And in case that we are going to have, for example, maybe like one more small move down, and I'm not really even convinced that we are going to do that, I'm just going to buy more in hope that I get my average purchase under $7, which will be fantastic because overall, I told you so many times, in ICP, I believe the situation is kind of actually like Algorand, but we are a bit behind. However, again, the concept is very much the same. From the lowest low, we are having a very strong 5-wave up into a wave 1. This whole move down is a correction structure into wave 2, and after it's over, we are going to have a magnificent move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. So this is why I believe in this project. I like its fundamentals. In terms of technical analysis, I think for now at least, as long as we are around these prices, we are in a great place. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Internet Computer's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make decent money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.